Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Xero versus Sage, which is the best accounting software when it comes to you and your small business, which is really the best choice for you, depending on, again, your small business, what your needs are, and which one might better serve you, again, depending on how your small business is set up, and again, what actually makes the most sense for you. Now, before we dive into this comparison, I do want to mention, of course, if you do want to check out Xero or Sage, you can go and check out those links down below in the video description, again, some of which are affiliate links, which is a great way to help out and support the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the comparison. Again, Xero and Sage. Now, to give you a brief overview of each of the accounting software and just general business software platforms, again, Xero is predominantly focused around small business and accounting for people that are more familiar within the accounting space. Again, maybe if you're a little bit more advanced, you're familiar with the double entry accounting system, or if you even have an accountant or a bookkeeper that can take care of your accounting for you. You can also use Xero just by your own self as well. You don't necessarily have to hire anybody to use the software as well. There's plenty of tutorials out there online as well, going through, how to use Xero. And it's a great accounting software for small business. It's very comparable to other platforms such as QuickBooks, which is another popular accounting software I've mentioned here on the channel many times. And Xero is very comparable to that. Again, they are a winner for like small business leader. Again, really focused around small business. You can also set up payroll with them through Gusto, which they have a partnership with for payroll. And they're a very affordable software as well when it comes to pricing. We'll get into more specific comparisons to Sage as well in just a moment. But Xero, again, generally speaking, is very good for small business accounting, and they are very an affordable option as well. Sage, on the other hand, is more built for enterprise level clients, right? So you're looking at more revenue, larger scale businesses. That's really what Sage is focused around. They are a cloud accounting software similar to Xero, but Sage, on the other hand, is again more built for enterprise level clients, similar to maybe what some of the more advanced QuickBooks plans have to offer, or even something like NetSuite, which I've also talked about here on the channel as well. I would say Sage and NetSuite are closer together if you're familiar with those softwares, compared to really Xero and Sage. Xero and Sage are quite a bit different in terms of what they have to offer. Again, Sage is more for those higher level businesses. In terms of the pricing, it is a lot more expensive as well for a platform like Sage, especially compared to Xero and what Xero has to offer. Xero does have a free trial as well if you're interested in maybe testing them out. Again, links are down below. Whereas Sage, again, they do have a product tour that you can test out to get a feel for it if you do want to follow along and check that out. But they are a request pricing type of model, so you do have to request pricing, at least on the Sage Intact. They do have a few other products as well, such as Sage 50, which is a smaller, more built for small businesses. But generally speaking, the majority of their software really is built more for higher level enterprise-based clients, where you're going to be tracking a lot higher incomes, a lot higher, asset management, net income by location. There's just a lot more advanced features that really most small business owners don't necessarily need, and you just frankly may be priced out when you're comparing the different softwares. As you can see here, even on Sage's homepage, if you're outgrowing QuickBooks, again, because QuickBooks is sort of more similar to Xero in that respect, in terms of, being good for small business. And then they have, maybe considering NetSuite, because NetSuite's more for enterprise level clients, similar to Sage. So hopefully you get that distinction there between the two different camps that really each of these different accounting softwares focus on, and the target customer. Because maybe if you're looking into a bunch of different accounting software, maybe you watch other videos or even other videos on my channel as well, going through different accounting softwares. That's an important distinction to understand between what's really for small business or for enterprise level clients. And then that can kind of guide you in the right direction when you're looking at different softwares. Again, something like Sage is going to be a lot more money. You do have to request the pricing. You're not going to necessarily just get that info right off the bat. But, when you take a look at comparisons in terms of what Sage has to offer, Again, they do have a lot more advanced reporting, things that generally, you're not going to get on Xero plans in terms of the more advanced reporting features, because Sage is also an HR platform with other pieces built in. Again, it is an entire enterprise resource planning software, also known as an ERP platform. So if you do need a lot more software sort of built into your one platform, then maybe Sage could be a good option for you if you do want to call them, request pricing, and look into maybe a more advanced accounting solution. Whereas Xero is good for beginners. Again, they do have a lot cheaper pricing plans, as well as just for small businesses as well. Again, this pricing is always subject to change depending on when you're watching this video. Just figured I would throw that disclaimer out there because pricing is always changing, but Xero is a lot cheaper than Sage just right off the bat. They do have their more established plan as well. Again, it is more just for, small business accounting. You can also do payroll with Xero, but Xero really predominantly is focused around accounting. If you want to do payroll, you do need to partner with their third-party provider, which is Gusto, which is a good payroll platform. I do recommend them as well on the channel. And Xero does have that direct partnership. But in terms of general features, like what you could expect with Xero, again, you can, track your income and your expenses. You have project planning, link your bank accounts. You can pay bills, reconcile the different transactions, and even accept payments for invoices as well through Xero. Again, it's more for small business. Again, looking at Xero compared to something like Sage. Sage is a lot more of an advanced software in terms of its overall capabilities when you're looking at them. Again, if you want to, do a trial or either of them, again, links are down below if you do want to check either of them out. But that's really the main difference, I would say, between the platforms. Like, you have a lot more advanced HR type features all in one. Like, Sage is more of an all-in-one enterprise business solution, whereas Xero is really just purely focused on accounting software and zeroing out your transactions in your business so you can get a good look of your overall cash flows, seeing your income and expenses, when you go to file taxes and things like that. It's a lot more just focused around simple small business accounting. There are some charts and analysis that they do have built into the software, but it's nothing like the types of dashboards and reporting that Sage has. But again, if you're okay with something a little bit simpler, maybe you don't want to spend the exorbitant, in my opinion, the exorbitant type costs that Sage has, then maybe Xero could be a good option because they are a lot more cost effective, especially compared to something like Sage. And, maybe you don't need all of the more advanced features. Again, it is more for enterprise level clients. If you're not an enterprise level client, ultimately you're going to be overpaying with something like Sage, where you could really probably get away with something like Xero or even other accounting softwares that I mentioned here on the channel, like QuickBooks, like a FreshBooks, or even every other platform, Wave, a lot of the other accounting softwares I mentioned here on the channel, and do plenty of tutorials through. So hopefully that comparison gives you a good idea, again, between Xero and Sage. In my opinion, I would rather go with Xero myself, but if I was in a higher level corporate finance position, you're looking to manage your HR, maybe you're trying to compare it to like an ADP type of scenario, then yeah, maybe Sage could be good for you. It's just for the majority of people out there, it's probably just a bit more than what you would need, especially when it comes to even the more basic cost. Honestly, if you do look at Sage 50, which is their cheaper small business option, is still like a little bit more archaic and more expensive, even on the monthly, than Xero. So maybe that's a more fair comparison, just in terms of small business based software, if that's what you're looking for. Even then, it's still a little bit more expensive, and you're probably better off going with something else, at least in the small business side of things. So that's just something else to keep in mind. Figured I would also mention it. But again, that is the main points of comparison between Sage and Xero. Again, Xero versus Sage, hopefully this video helps you kind of get a better decision around each of the different softwares. Again, if you do want to check out either of them, they are linked down below in the video description. Again, if you found this video helpful, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that was all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.